All right, 30-minute musing. This is a Friday/Saturday edition of, I just didn't have the creativity flowing. On my way into work, Marlins Padres out in San Diego. So, as I record this, it's my Friday night. Everybody, well, technically Saturday morning. It's almost 2 a.m. Just to give you a brief synopsis of what the hell's going on. 30-minute musings, and I couldn't get shit rolling mentally on my way into work. So, you don't get a double shot, you'll just get a solo here, and I hope that's good enough. Nothing wrong with a cool drink out of a solo cup, right? Well, not that I got that going for me, but as soon as I got into the station, I got me some coffee fired up, kind of helped me. Contact lenses right now don't seem to be failing, so that's good. A little bit of, rip these bastards out of your eyes. Give them a good rinse through, because the sleep, it's wanting to build up in my friggin' eyes. But, beyond that, yesterday I had a bit of another production meeting, as we like to call it, with a couple friends of mine. And meeting went well. Fire around a few ideas, got a couple things situated. Of course, sit around bullshit, have like a beer or two, and try to gel some ideas and collaborate on some shit. That went well. Otherwise, I'm trying to get some shit for myself lined up. Otherwise, with all the avenues we got, you gotta go down one of them. When there's a fork in the road, take it. Which side? That's the better question. But yeah, that's a Yogi Berra quote, in case you're wondering. It's a good one though. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Alright, perfect. But no, I can't say that I'm coming to a fork in the road. It's just I'm trying to... I gotta take some different routes my goddamn self. And this is on, the creativity sides of things. Establishing my brand. Yeah, people say that about pro athletes all the time. I don't think they know what the fuck it means. Blind branding. I think I already did that recording, that episode. Yeah. But I got a couple other things in mind that I think can go well. If this is just kind of the mental spewing of, stupid thoughts that I have, whether it's political or sports related or just, stupid drivers on the road. This is just... If it's amusing for you, I'm thankful for that. Don't get me wrong. But at the very least, just spill a lot of shit out of my brain. Kind of helps my ride to work and home, so that's always good. Because as I've noted, not only, radio, and like I said, this is damn near 2 a.m., ain't gonna be a whole shitload on for me that's interesting. Oh, dude, the club music, fucking get it, somebody's gotta be recording live from bongos or from, whatever club. Well, now I don't know if Liv does shit now, but somebody's got to be recording live. Blue Martini, yeah. There's got to be a DJ over that fucking joint, some station broadcast. Yeah, but that's not my kind of stuff. Never was. Just for a disclaimer, never was my kind of thing. But getting my ass home by 2 a.m. now. Well, I'm driving home. If I can get home in 10 minutes, holy shit, would that be amazing. That's heavy on the gas pedal. Not going to happen, though. Just not going to happen. My clock shows 150. 7 minutes fast, but you get me. Oh, boy. Yeah, other avenues and other shit that I want to do. I'm not going to spell out too much. Spell out or spill out. I don't know how that sounded to you. Want to make it clear. I don't want to spill out anything. Can't even say the words right, so I'm definitely spilling something. Just a couple of things that I kind of want to do that I think could get some mileage. Hopefully build up somewhat of an audience and, see where things can go. Might have to do with sports, might have to do with video games, might have to do with both. I'm just really gotten into a point And I've said it, I think, I said it like 2 years ago, and I said it for this year, kind of, that, oh yeah, I need to start getting some shit done and kind of branching out everything. And to some degree, I've been working on a few things, not throwing a lot of it out there. So what the fuck are the odds of it going to stick if you're really not throwing it out? You know? Pitching it, so to speak. But yeah, I got a couple ideas. Now, of course, it's one of those scenarios where, well, in order to get started up, and it's not like I'm joining some pyramid scheme bullshit. I just want to make that clear out right now. But it's not like I got, you know, the kind of disposable income needed to get what I'm hoping for started. I have ideas. I need to know which one would be best, or which, of course, this will all be... This just could be me talking out my ass. It's an idea, and I don't want to get too far into it, because if it never, you know, gets off the ground or whatever, you know, what's the point of, you know, spilling everything? Just an idea. Yeah, to get things started up, it's going to take a little bit of coin. I mean, not a whole shit box, but then again, it's not like I got a whole shit box. You know, some people, like, I marvel. There was a kid that I was in a few classes in back in college. And he's a big-time, you know, working video and shit like that, film, whatever, you know, however you want to label that stuff. And I remember a while back he had posted something up, I think it was on Facebook, and he's like, man, yeah, check out this camera, this thing looks good, you know, I saw the price, and that was kind of attractive, you know, for what this piece is. And it was like a heavy-duty fucking camera. I think it was like, you know, $6-7 grand. I'm like, wow, if that price is attractive and you're considering it, good for you, man. I mean, I'd rather get me, you know, I guess in a crunch. Like, if that's the price on some wheels, yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to go that route. But I mean, obviously he's doing well in that department then. If he's able to say that, you know, a fucking, and I don't even know if it was a P2 cam. I think that's what they call it, a P2 camera, where it doesn't even use fucking, well, not too many things use fucking tape anymore. At least I don't think. You can go with an old school piece that does. But, you know, it's all digital. So, yeah, P2, I don't even know how the fuck those things operate. I mean, I get the idea. Fuck, my little digital camera, ain't no tape in there. It's just your fucking, you know, whatever, how many gigs on that chip. I'm assuming it's the same kind of thing. But, I mean, notice the color correction and, Jesus, aperture and all that shit. And that's just simplistic crap for somebody who knows that stuff. But, point being, I mean, if he says that, well, that's an attractive price, you know, whatever it was, like $6-7 grand for the thing, like, wow, okay, like he's that well in what he's doing that you know, that's attractive enough for him. The little bit of capital that I need to throw around to get something, and this is, like I said, a side project that I would hope can develop into something. This isn't something that can help me progress from where I'm at. This would be a totally different avenue starting from scratch. That's why I guess it's a different thing. Like, he's already geared in with what he's doing film-wise. So for him, that camera is just in addition to what he's doing. That's not from the ground up. The ground up, fuck it, that might have even been worse to start, but, you know, reversing roles here, getting me back to me and not me being him. Yeah, a couple ideas, and it'll take a little bit to get it off the ground. And then, you know, I would have to familiarize myself with, you know, what else would I need with this? I'll need some editing shit to go along with it. I would have to get better at that. I did a little bit back in college with well, I mean, audio, I can do that pretty simple. Whether I'd be using some of the same programs and, like, somewhat the same equipment, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there'd be a little bit of shit needed for takeoff. It's almost as if I have a destination in mind. I just need the fucking plane now, you know? But when you get the plane, what kind of engine does that thing have? Is it a propeller kind of plane? What kind of fuel? How much fuel? You got enough to get there? You know, all those things. It's like I got a destination in mind. Might not be too far of a trip, but you never know. And what if the weather picks up a little bit while you're in flight? Or just as you're about to take off? You know, all those weird analogies that can come into play. You know, I-95 southbound entrance from 716 to 723. God damn it, I missed what it said. Left lanes, ramp only. No, that's good. That's another thing. Like, they are expanding the fucking, they're like expanding I-95 and all this shit down this way. Just at some points, I understand the smartest time to be doing all this damn road construction, with the ramps and, you know, expanding the fucking, the lanes on the highway itself, as opposed to, you know, just the ramps on and off. Best time to do it would be like nighttime. Granted, it's the weekend, and I understand, you know, people are still out getting their way to clubs and whatever, parties and all that shit. It's still, this is not your 8 a.m. till 6, 7 p.m. kind of workday traffic haul that everybody's got to make. Boy, this motherfucker got to get somewhere. Woo-wee, passed me like a champion. Mr. Four-door Ford. Get going. Florida plate, nothing fancy. But see, that's the kind of guy. Joe Important's got somewhere to be. Oh, it's almost 2 a.m. I gotta get somewhere real quick. Woo-wee. It's almost 2 a.m. and Joe Important got places he gotta be. Joe Important, there's kind of an inside joke. And that goes back years. God, if I remember right, I don't even know if I was there. When it, like, I think I was, shit, let me just say it. I want to say it was me, my brother, and our friend Jesse. A friend of ours back home. He was in my grade. We're at, like, Walmart, or we're at the mall, something like that. And I don't know if, like, I was going to, like, I don't know, if I had, like an eye exam, maybe at the mall or something like that, or I was going into a specific shop. That's why part of me is thinking, like, I was there, but I didn't hear the entire conversation kind of thing. So, like, how do I remember who was there fucking talking about their own shit, you know? But apparently there was, like, this dude, and it's whatever, it's kind of like afternoon, could have been a weekend, no big deal. But I'm pretty sure we were all out of high school. It's not like we were ditching out of class or nothing. Well, my brother might have been out of school, but even still, I don't think if we're going to ditch class, we're probably not going to take that big of a fucking road trip to go to the mall or no shit like that. Not no 30 miles. That's just how it was. 30 miles to go to the mall ain't worth, you know, if you're going to ditch school, just whatever. My brother had an apartment downtown. I would kind of skip out and do that and go, you know, meet up with everybody. Had a key to his place. Left my PlayStation there a lot of the times, you know, whatever. Whether he was at work or not. But anyway, we're at the mall or a Walmart or some shit, and I may have stepped away from where everything initially happened. But apparently there's this guy, like in a, you know, kind of, maybe in a suit or at least like long sleeve button-up shirt. But like he was just a frantic pace all over the fucking joint. Like, looking at his watch, like, dude, what the fuck, you know, Joe Important. And I think it was my friend Jesse that fucking started up the whole spiel. Like, oh, look at me, I'm Joe Important, I got shit to do, I got places to be. Like, just the way this guy was pacing back and forth like a fucking caged animal waiting for feeding time, you know? Just, like, looking at his watch and adjusting, like, his tie and all that shit, just pacing around real quick. Just in a matter of maybe a minute. And he's just zipping around back and forth, and then just like fucking Kaiser Soze, poof, he was gone, you know? And just that whole Joe Important thing was fucking hilarious, because it's, you know, I guess he wasn't saying it loud enough for the guy to hear, though it could have been funny enough for the guy to be like, yeah, tone the fuck down, yeah, you heard what I said, like, look at you, you look like a mess. You know, like, if he was bugging out on fucking crank, and he was, you know, on the street corner waiting for his dealer, yeah, that's the kind of body language and frantic activity I would expect out of somebody. Not some dude dressed up in his suit at whether at the mall or a Walmart, whatever the fuck, like. And I mean, this wasn't the age of, like, you know, everybody has a fucking smartphone, but something tells me he might have been, you know, maybe talking on a shit. Maybe the old Nokias that everybody had that used to play that digital snake game on. maybe he was talking on one of those and looking at his watch. Yeah, I don't know. The mental image is not clear in my mind. I'd have to ask my brother about that. You know, shit like that, he's got a pretty decent memory on him about that shit. But the old Joe Important thing. By the way, speaking of that, that goddamn Ford that passed me up, I don't know where he went, but he probably took an exit. He had to get in front of me, had to pass me on the ramp that's no more, what is that, quarter mile, half mile? Had to pass my ass just to get to an exit. By the time I finish this fucking story, no idea where he is. Oh, yeah. There's your first yawn of the recording. Should I call these? There's another thing. A little bit of feedback. And keep in mind, on Spreaker, eventually I'll be deleting this. I want to keep, you know, about the 4 most recent recordings up. Just, I guess, for my own mental masturbation. And I guess a little bit for you if you fell behind a little bit. I mean, that could be a day or two worth of shit. A little bit of content for you, in case you miss out. But then again, hey, they're always locked up in YouTube. But if, you know, leave me a message, at least on YouTube if you can. Should I call these 30-minute musings? Well, that's the name of this series, I guess. But should I refer to these as episodes, recordings? I don't know. I tend to jump around on it. As I said in a previous recording, as I brought up, you know, previous episode, I don't know. Because I can't say they're much of episodes. It is a recording. Well, every episode is a recording. Doesn't matter, you know, TV, radio. Every episode that you listen to, it's a show, a series, whatever the fuck. Well, it is a recording. This ain't live. But even if it does go live and I stream it somehow, I may back it up as a recording. Which, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess everything's a recording then. Because it doesn't matter what happens, it usually gets recorded. Back in the day, I mean, if you're watching a baseball game, and okay, this is hypothetical, but you get what I'm saying. If you go to a baseball game and it's, you know, and it's 1912, and you're there live to watch the game, it's not being recorded because the way technology was. I mean, it was being recorded for record purposes in a newspaper for a box score, who the starting pitchers were, blah, 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 who scored the runs. It is being recorded, but it's not a recording? I don't know. Fuck it, everything's recorded. That's an interesting, see, that's the way my mind works. Everything gets recorded. It just does. You can find shit, you know, a concert from, like, back in the 70s. Early to mid-70s. Like I've seen shit. You remember, you go back in the day when there was, all that shit, there was Napster, there was, Kazaa, there was LimeWire. All those file-sharing fucking programs that everybody would use to get, you know, music left and right. You go back to those old things, a lot of people were against them. Yeah, and like I get, like, some of my friends, like, they love Metallica, so they fuck Napster, fuck Napster. I'm like, dude, I get that side of it, but here's the deal. I just found a recording of a Van Halen song from, like, if their first album was, what, 1978? It's like this recording was before they had their first album out, whatever, in like 76 when they were opening up for, you know, somebody, like Jimmy Buffett or some shit. And it's at some bullshit amphitheater out, you know, just outside of fucking Reno or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's like, this is amazing. You know, you'll never get this on a CD. At least I don't think. I don't know who has the rights to it, blah, blah, blah. But even that shit was getting recorded. You just never know. But that was, I guess it was never meant to be recorded. I don't think. You picture how many, picture every group and band out there still today. I mean, even an older, you know, an older band who's seen many changes, like, God, I was going to say Boston. No, Journey, excuse me. And they got that little, Go with that little Sri Lankan kid or wherever the hell he's from. Forgive me, I'm not trying to be a prick. It's just the Filipino kid there, yeah. And he sounds just like the original shit vocally. And everybody says this kid fucking nails it, It's like, this is a great, if there's any kind of replacement, like, this is a fucking grand slam. Now, okay, things like that. Picture, they are still touring. Kiss is still touring. You know all the songs. Doesn't matter. Aerosmith is probably still out there. But then your modern shit, Nicki Minaj and Taylor Swift, you go through all that shit, and that's different genres altogether. But all these groups and bands, they're still touring. I mean, for fuck's sakes, the Smashing Pumpkins just did a show. I think they just went with, were they with Marilyn Manson just the other day somewhere down here? Now, maybe there was a radio station that was a part of that. Maybe they did a spot there. I don't think so, just the way, just the way the rock scene is these days. But, to some degree, I'm sure Instagram, somebody got pictures, somebody maybe did a Vine, a Snapchat deal of all this, just a little bit of shit. Everything's getting recorded. Maybe not in full, but I'll bet you somebody... Look at the bootleg movie industry. And sadly, that is an industry. I know someone that... a guy I used to work with years ago. Like, he did that shit on the side. And actually, speaking of that, like a kid I went to college with, he had bootleg versions of... And when I say bootleg movies, I don't know how the people do it, but they somehow sneak in a camera into the movie theater, and this is, I don't even know where. Like, it's over in China or some shit, before the movie even reaches the theaters here in the U.S. Somebody records this shit as they are sitting in a movie theater. They post it up on a website or whatever the fuck, whether it's free or not, or maybe they get a couple of bucks along the way for every time it's downloaded. I don't know, but still... I remember the one specifically was, I think that first Transformers movie, a kid I went to college with, I think that was bootleg. One of them for sure, it was a George Clooney movie, Michael Clayton, or is that a receiver that used to be in the NFL? Either something Clayton, right, with George Clooney. That was a bad bootleg because it was kind of at a Batman 45-degree tilt the way the camera was held, but I saw... Well, I didn't watch, I had no interest in that movie, but I saw a bootleg version of that movie before it hit the fucking theaters. And yeah, like I said, that is an industry, blah, blah, blah. To that degree, like, I can see how that's, it's just weird how that shit can get out before it's technically out. So for every person that can bootleg a fucking movie at a movie theater, how could they not sort of bootleg a concert, at a like I said, a bullshit amphitheater just outside of Reno, I'm sure it's very doable. It's just how good is the quality of it, number one. Is the audio way too fucking loud? Because, you picture a theater at the very least is going to be a little bit better for sound. I mean, that's part of the experience. Sometimes if the music or the vocals are just way too fucked up or bleeding over one or the other... You've been to concerts like that where it's just, Jesus Christ, I was in section 317 and my ears are still ringing, the next morning. So you've been to those, and then you've been to somewhere like, no, that sounded legit, that was good shit, that wasn't, not studio quality, but it wasn't so horrific to the point where, like, I couldn't make out fucking, the songs I'm not all too familiar with. But I'll bet you they get recorded. Everything gets recorded these days. Everything. The Ray Rice elevator deal, right? That got recorded. And it doesn't sound bad till you see it. Right? Doesn't sound too bad till you see it. 2-game suspension. Oh my God, he's out for the rest of the year. No, matter of fact, we cut him. He's off the team. We're basically firing the guy. Yeah. Everything gets recorded, O.J. Simpson and Marion Barry. Everything gets recorded. Everything gets recorded. What about all the fun times I had in hotel rooms? Oh, can I quote George Takei on this one? Oh my. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, shit. I'm not going to Steven Spielberg this motherfucker and show you everything right off the bat and fucking no. I'm going to leave that to your imagination. Mm-hmm. And for the women that were involved there, I thank all of them. Oh, my. Come on, BMW. It's the pedal on the right. You know what a green light is, don't you? Fuck. Well, good thing I'm starting to wake up a little bit, because I'm almost home as I yawn again. Oh, fuck, yeah. You sound really awake there, asshat. Mm-hmm. And by the way, for those not familiar, asshat is a pretty good fucking, just a funny, stupid name to call somebody. It's kind of like dumbass, but, an asshat. I don't know. Another good one. A shit ass, right? You shit ass. It's kind of like, okay, shit comes from your ass. Okay, flat, perfect, reasonable, not even reasonable, it's a true statement. Like back in the day, you'd hear like, oh, he's a little snot-nosed punk. Well, snots come from your nose, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe you could call somebody a piss dick. I don't know. If you can call him a shit ass, why can't you call him a piss dick? Well, I guess that's, I mean, not to be sexist, but you'd have to call a guy that, clearly. I mean, I don't know. Could you call a chick, maybe I won't go there. A piss puss? I don't know. Maybe you can. Here's one that I like. I don't know where my brother came up with it. But when somebody's being a real wimp, you call them a puss cake. Because that doesn't sound tough at all, does it? Yeah, stop being such a fucking puss cake. Yep. Joe Important. Invented by a friend of mine. Shit ass. Ass hat. And puss cake. Created, to my knowledge, first brought to my attention by friends of mine. Yep. If you're a product of your environment, you can kind of tell those are kind of the things that surrounded me and make me laugh. So with that, as I go damn near parking space to parking space, not even in the red yet, trying to keep this parking spot snug, close to the post. Fucking booyah. Wow, that was about a 28-minute musing. But on that note, yeah, those are my friends and the things that they divulge and that my brain sponges up that make me laugh. That being the case, got my ass home. So, till we meet again, I'll catch your ass down the road.